Somehow, some way, coming out to all seven of you listening, here we are for the Talking Doves podcast. Mr. Arthur, how are you?
I'm good.
I was gonna ask on a scale of 1 to 10 fingers, how are you tonight? But I didn't.
Um,
Yeah, you rocking at 9.5 today, and that's fine, Mr. Arthur. I'm proud of you. You know, um, the that what was that old country song? It'd be like, "I'm chilled to the bone." That's.
to the bone.
But anyway, Mr. Arthur, despite you almost losing an appendage, um, what what even is week number? Let me see, Mr. Arthur. I think I got this. It would be week number 26, I believe, maybe 27. No, it'd be 26 because I think we're wrapping up grades either next week or the beginning of the next.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is week 26 ish. So how are we, Mr. Arthur? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's just me and my ET finger
Yeah,
and my butcher knife.
right.
Yeah, things are good. Things are good. I think we had a pretty good week.
Mhm.
Um, although on the way over here, you had to remind me of what happened this week because I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
It's been a really long week.
long week, good
We
week.
accomplished a lot this week.
A good portion for sure. I don't at all remember what happened Tuesday night. We had something to do Tuesday night. Um, I don't remember what it was, but I remember that Monday I had pretty much off. That evening anyway. I took that time to grill me and Bethany a steak. It was delicious.
Oh, Tuesday. That's when I went to Lake Charles.
Tuesday you went to Lake Charles?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Oh,
Monday
was
you
it
went to
Monday?
Lake Charles. It was Monday you went to Lake Charles.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
This is the Talking to Us podcast where we try to remember what happened only 96 hours ago.
Yes.
Um, wow, look at us go. I
I do
bet
remember Monday we competed in dairy foods.
that did happen Monday.
Tuesday, the entire state shut down to give juniors ACT.
Yep.
Wednesday, we had a poultry contest.
Yes.
And then today, we had an amazing cookout.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the broad strokes version, Mr. Arthur. Um, Details of Monday during Dairy Foods. I think Dairy Foods went with the least number of hitches of all the contests we did.
Yeah.
That was kind of the vibe in the room. They don't know what the other contest rooms really looked like and felt like.
Yeah.
But last week, and we didn't comment about this on the podcast, it was hectic, to say the least,
Yeah, it was.
for pretty much every contest last week. This
Well, you
week,
and I had talked that, we've already been through virtual contests once, but we haven't gone through virtual contests that were uh, videoed like this. And
right.
so dealing with internet and things was different. So it was kind of hectic for us, and we tried to hide it as best we could from the students. But I think they ended up seeing some of the frustration.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I can be a little bit of a drama king, and I do ham it up from time to time, Mr. Arthur. But the thing is, you and I both we cared really deeply about things, and we like to show that. And so if that means busting into a room where some kid has accidentally exited off of their Scantron, then I'm gonna bust into a room, and if we have to ask questions of people in charge over contests, I'm gonna ask it. And like maybe it comes off as drama. Like I have like an anxious vibe about me anytime that I'm in the room on those things, and I don't feel it. I don't feel the anxiety. You and other people will later be like, "Are you okay?" Like because I don't understand that I'm feeling anxious as much as y'all do for me.
Yeah, I feel like you get antsy, and I
Mhm.
just shut down.
Yeah, yeah, the Antsy and Shutdown show. So That was Dairy Foods, Mr. Arthur. Then we go into Tuesday. Tuesday was awesome because we were able to accomplish so many projects that we had. Um, we had kind of had projects stacking up. Um, just things that we needed to do to help our school, to help our community, and we had a couple of seniors, or I guess I should say three seniors, that dedicated their morning and afternoon to help us with those things. And everything that we set forth to accomplish that day, we finished.
Hmm.
We cut what 12 football helmets in half.
We did.
Cut 12 football helmets in half. We made a table. We fixed about 12 hurdles. We created hurdles.
Yep.
And then what was the other thing? Oh, the paper towel crawfish holder rack things. So yeah, Mr. Arthur, we created a lot of things. We just have to, mount those football helmets to the plaques, and basically everything that we and sand the hurdles and paint, but pretty much all the hard labor is done, and that was really needed on our end.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was Tuesday. I don't remember Tuesday night. I don't remember Tuesday night at all. Something happened. I did something. I went somewhere. Oh, we, you and I, we worked on national chapter stuff. We talked about it.
Oh, we did. We did.
We went and ate, I think, and then we talked. We had a working supper. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew I did something because we missed junior leader meeting, Mr. Arthur.
Yeah, we had no idea it was even happening.
I mean, we had some idea.
Yeah, I mean, we just had forgot.
We forgot. We forgot. It was that time, that it should be happening, and we just got busy and forgot. And none of our junior leaders, Mr. Arthur, reminded us. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of on them. Every junior leader meeting I've been to, I was invited by some of our fabulous 4-H junior leaders, and that did not happen. Even though I teach 80% and you teach 80% of that room,
Yeah.
I'm not pointing fingers.
I am.
Hey, Mr. Arthur, phone home somewhere else, okay?
Hey, I think you need to put my ET's face on my head.
Is that green?
Yeah, it is. I had a highlighter.
You are a child, Mr. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna look away. Y'all can't tell what I'm looking at anyway, so I'm just gonna look at the invite button on my participant list, wishing who I could invite to this podcast that wouldn't be showing me their weird finger. Oh my gosh, get off. Okay, so Mr. Arthur,
Yep.
that takes us to Wednesday. Wednesday, we had a 4-H meeting to start our day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remembered that.
No, it didn't.
But we had Mr. Donnie come and talk to our kids and gave kind of a recap of the junior league meeting from the night before. We were able to have a good number of our 4-H members, or at least our 4-H officers in the room, and I thought that went really well that morning.
Yeah.
I like starting our morning off with those things because as a teacher, it kind of helps us ease into the day. But throughout that day, we had our last of our spring contests.
Yeah.
And that was what, Mr. Arthur? Poultry. The foundational CDE of them all. The reason why I was able to eat chicken for supper, Mr. Arthur. Poultry itself. And that contest was kind of insane, Mr. Arthur, because it was like an hour and 15-minute YouTube video.
Yeah.
Basically, that was insane.
Kind of the first full contest we had. Everything else the contest has been altered a bit virtual, and due to Mr. Vines working really hard, he made a full state contest.
Right.
I thought it was really, I thought it went really well. We had a young group, but I think they worked really hard. They learned a lot, and I think next year we're going to be really dangerous in poultry.
I think so too. What I loved about almost every one of our contests, Mr. Arthur, we had our, I hated it, but we had our winter break in the middle of training.
Yeah, we did.
And our semester started later than it typically would had, so we didn't get the same amount of time. But what I think it did was it made our kids really appreciate and enjoy their contests. They did not get burned out.
Mhm.
I don't even know if all of them realize that they are not going to be studying that come Monday. Just
Yeah, I don't think that's fully
sunk in yet. But I think it's great because they were not, bogged down. They weren't getting tired of the content.
right.
And I think that's going to put them in a place where they're going to be, like you said, really dangerous next year. But not just in poultry, but across the board.
Oh, definitely. But speaking specifically on poultry, I don't feel like you ever fully know poultry. Like even us, there's always something to learn when it comes to poultry. And so that contest, I don't think you really can get burned in.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for them, and I'm excited to work with them in the future.
Yeah. Something that I really like about poultry is, you learn that criteria that something is supposed to be, and then it has to meet that criteria.
Yep.
But then, like you said, the longer I look at that stuff, the more I start second guessing, the size of an air cell and the I tell you what, some of those parts, Mr. Arthur, you just got the skin rolled over it, and it's
Yep.
just a piece of flesh, and it's kind of hard on those things. The more you think about it, it's kind of like a little bell curve, but our kids don't care about that. But, where you're
Yep.
trying to get that maximum amount of knowledge before you start really second guessing yourself, like we did.
Mhm.
Um, so, Mr. Arthur, that takes us to today. You want to talk anything about today?
We had it smelling like Grayson's barbecue up in here. You started this morning about 7 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
firing up our pit. About 9 o'clock, we had that thing rolling hot and heavy, and we had sausage and hot dogs for our students today, kind of as an end of CDE training celebration. Thank you for their hard work cookout. And we don't do what we didn't do it to get thanks, but hear all the kids and how appreciative they were of today. I was really appreciative of that myself. It was awesome, and it was a lot of time of talking to students. We get kind of caught up sometimes in training or teaching, and we don't really get to talk to students as much as we'd like to. But today we did, and kind of led us into starting carpentry. For Ag 2 and 3, 4, we'll go back into it, and for Ag 1, they'll start fresh with carpentry on Monday. So
Mr. Arthur, did Nan ever have to walk up behind you and say, tell them thank you? Did she ever do that to you? Like when
yeah,
you were anywhere? She did that, right? Yeah. Tammy did the same thing. And, you can tell our kids, so many of them, have that good uh, raising or just are so sweet and kind hearted because so many of them came up to you, came up to me after, and they're just like, thank you for the food. Like, thank you for this. This was so nice. And like you said, that just, it meant a lot uh, because we asked a lot of them over the past, 6 weeks or so and to give it back. And, for like my horticulture class, I felt bad because every day we had to feed the team that was competing, and they had to look at that food with us giving it to the kid that's competing every day. And I hated that every time I did it. So today, we're able to give them, uh,
mhm.
a hot meal. And what I really liked about it, Mr. Arthur, is every class had food specifically cooked for them.
Yeah,
We didn't cook a bunch of food and then have to put it up and warm it up every time they came in. That food was cooked for that class. I thought that was different and special.
I agree with you. I
And
agree. It's a good day, and we'll definitely do it again before the end of the year.
yeah, Yeah, I'm looking at it, Mr. Arthur. It's 3/11. Today is March 11th. They're going to be hearing this on March 12th, and so 2 months from now, we're out of like our seniors are out, and we'll be having like 2 weeks left of school in 8 weeks, and that's crazy. But yeah, it's not like it's going to be happening tomorrow, but it won't be long before our next cookout because we just don't have that much time left
Right.
after school. I wanted to say a couple of things, Mr. Arthur, before we move on to the quiz and wrap this thing up. One is on our Facebook page, you posted a calendar that was very informative. Anybody that had any questions about what practices or anything is going on in the ag department, and I think it was cool. Did you put our our awards writing that me and you were going to do on the schedule?
We did not.
Okay. Well, just know that if there's a day with nothing happening, something is happening. Me and Mr. Arthur, I don't think we'll leave the ag department before 6 for the next couple of weeks, and that's including our Saturdays that we'll be working to. We have Slutisa on Saturday. We got SLDC on Saturday, and we have a lot of awards reviewing in the department on that next Saturday. And so just know that your advisors are going to be very tired over the next couple of weeks, and it's okay because this is why we went to school.
Yeah. There was one weekday that there's nothing, and that's that day. We're going to be doing serious reviews to turn in all of our applications. But the Saturdays, like you said, are going to be packed as well. And then Sundays, we'll give our time to the Lord, and then we'll look at some more applications. So it's going to be very busy, but I think our chapter is going to be rewarded well for the hard work.
I think so. One of those pushes that me and you are trying to do is make sure our kids that are doing those outside of school projects are being recognized for that work. And none of that is anything that we really. There's two of them out of like the 8 applications that we kind of gave it to them, but it's things that they all pretty much did on their own. They all ran with, and we're just showing them how to put that to paper so that they can be recognized for that. And even if they are still listening to this, they're probably not because they skipped ahead and read the transcript to answer the questions that we put in. But if they are, it's important to know that we're going to recognize any of those applications at our banquet,
Yes.
whether they were a state finisher or not. Because if you put that time and effort in that project, it will be rewarded. Because we really want to encourage that.
I do want to plug something here real quick, Mr. Riley. Every time we talk about proficiencies and SAEs, we always end up learning about a student that has one that we have no idea about.
Yep.
If you have a project that you're doing outside of school, a job that you have, let us know that you're doing that.
Yep.
Because we can help you get recognized for doing that.
Right.
So, keep us in the loop, even if it's something like mowing yards and you don't think that's agricultural. Well, it is. It's agricultural. So let us know that you're doing that so we can, next year we can get you in an application and get recognized.
Mr. Arthur, I think at banquet, not necessarily taking main stage at banquet, but they need to have like a trifold or maybe a video playing before it starts where they, like the national finalists do. I think we need to have videos like that so kids can see what their classmates are doing and see, oh, I do that kind of stuff. And I think that'd be really cool.
I agree.
I want y'all to know before we go. Do you have anything else, Mr. Arthur? Before we go into the next thing, me and Mr. Arthur, as we are winding down this year, we're basically 75% done with the school year. For those of you that don't know, me and Mr. Arthur are 12-month employees, which means that we don't really get a full summer. We work throughout the summer joyfully. I'm so excited for that time. But me and Mr. Arthur just spent time planning some things that are going to be happening over the next 3 months. And we're very excited about what the future holds. And I don't know how much of that you will hear about, but just know that if you're not hearing about the future, it is being planned, and
Yes.
we're so excited for what the future holds. It looks like the state is slowly opening up, which means it only means more opportunities for us at the chapter. And as we still like, we'll keep a YouTube presence, and I don't know if we'll do the podcast next year if we don't have a virtual day. Like, there's a lot of things that are um, changing, but at the same time, me and Mr. Arthur are always going to be working to give you unique opportunities and making sure those opportunities happen. So just the future is very bright, and we are very excited, and we want to communicate that with you as much as we can.
Yeah. There's not a day that goes by we don't talk about the future in some capacity. We're always planning, trying to make ourselves and our chapter better. So I did one more thing I did want to say, Mr. Riley, about the calendar was if you are on forestry or P law, be looking at some times that may be different from what you've seen in the past, especially on Fridays. For us to get in those practices, we had to make some early practices to accommodate softball, baseball, that kind of thing. So just be on the lookout. Tomorrow, I'm going to attach the calendar to the email I send. So you'll see that in your email tomorrow.
Perfect. So, Mr. Arthur, I have a quick quiz.
Okay.
I did not script it out like I typically do.
Okay.
So be ready for a couple of rough edges.
Okay.
Mr. Arthur, I have a band that I want to know if you know anything about. Okay. The band is Green Day. Have you ever?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You name any of their hits, Mr. Arthur?
No.
Come on, Mr. Arthur. Anyway, I got a couple of things you need to know about them. Okay, they're an American band, an American rock band, to be not the game, Mr. Arthur, but just an American rock band. Um, so they were founded in 1987. Almost said 1887, but rock was not very.
Not during Reconstruction.
Yeah, it was not happening back then, Mr. Arthur, because Jimi Hendrix hadn't like hooked up a amp or anything yet. But anyway, 1987, great time. Um, they were founded in what U.S. State? Do you have a guess?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I don't know why you guessed Wisconsin. Is it because?
Green Bay.
Oh, okay. Huh. I didn't even think about that, Mr. Arnold. That's clever. I like that. That's a good pun. I'm gonna write that down. Okay. Interesting. But no, Mr. Arthur. They came from a state that I'm gonna give you a couple of the facts. Their state bird is the valley quail, and their state flower is a poppy.
They're from the Midwest.
They are not, strangely enough.
No idea. California.
It is California, Mr. Arthur. Look at you. Look at you. I couldn't give you the full name of the state bird because it's the California valley quail. And the state flower is the California poppy.
Yeah.
Which I can't say anything because our state wildflower is the Louisiana iris.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I wasn't sure if poppies even grew wild in the Midwest, but you said quail, so it just kind of sounded Midwest.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't have pictured quail in California, but quail's kind of like Texas in that it has like every ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts, but that's what happens when you cover a large amount of land, especially latitudinal like that. It's great. But until next time when I talk about geography, I got one more question, Mr. Arthur. They are actually from the East Bay of California. Okay. And East Bay, we talked about tonight, Mr. Arthur, the sporting good company, Mr. Arthur. Do you know where the sporting good company East Bay is from? What state?
Give me one hint.
One hint. Okay.
Give me a vague hint. Let's see if I can do it.
A vague hint. The company began in 1980 when Richard Gering and Art Wedes set up a shoe sales company. There's your hint.
Um,
All right, I got a real hint. I'm kidding. I got a real hint. That was factual, though. I want you to know that hint was factual. It was also vague, so you're welcome. Anyway, wow, that is an awful. I've looked up a bunch of facts about this state. None of these are great, and I'm going to share some of those with you off camera, Mr. Arthur. I will let you know that they have several natural lakes that have all resulted from glaciers. The first ice cream sundae was made here, and the first circus in the United States was in this state, in the town of Delavan. Probably butchered that, but I'm from Louisiana.
okay. This is a crapshoot.
You said vague hints.
Yeah, no, it's not that. When you said East Bay, I was thinking East Coast, and now I'm feeling it's not East Coast. Um,
More than 800,000 deer roam here. I don't know who counted, but more than 800,000.
well, 800,000. Um,
Almost a third of all Americans live within a 500-mile radius of this state.
can you repeat that one more time?
Almost one third, or 33%, 0.333333, of all Americans live within 500 miles of this state.
Well, I was going to say Washington. I think I did say it, but you didn't hear it, and that's obviously can't be the case.
No,
Um, wow, was it like one of the Carolinas?
no, sir.
I have no idea.
Mr. Arthur, in a great circling of facts, when this started, you said that Green Day came from Wisconsin because of Green Bay. East Bay came from Wisconsin, Mr. Arthur.
Okay.
Woo!
Ooh.
I thought that was cool, Mr. Arthur. Anyway, the largest experimental aviation event happens in Oshkosh.
I don't care about anything else you say other than the 800,000 deer that had roam there.
I, 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 we're gonna have to get a wildlife biologist on here. I want to know how you count deer, Mr. Arthur. Their one job is to hide. Like I don't, I don't get that at all. Oh my gosh. There's a Scony just just driving a drone over the state, just going 1, 2, 3. I'm,
Yikes.
kid- I'm kidding. I know wildlife biology is awesome and really fun. And if you are interested in studying that, Louisiana Tech offers a great uh, concentration of study in wildlife biology. So there's your plug for the day.
Yo,
So, Mr. Arthur, do you have anything else to add?
no.
Do you want to put on camera how long do you think this podcast ran? We always do this after the show, but I'd like to do it right here.
33 minutes and 48 seconds.
Gosh, you cheated. Okay, Mr. Arthur, since you are cheating, it's time to go.
There's no right answer.
Huh?
There's no way that's the right answer.
It's close. I don't know. The kids are seeing this. If there any, they're not listening. Anyway, Mr. Arthur,
Riley, we need to give them some advice before they leave.
give them some advice.
No, you go first.
You want me to go first? Okay, Mr. Arthur. The advice I want to give these kids is if you are in Louisiana, you're not within 500 miles of Wisconsin. So if you want to be productive, apparently you need to move up about 400 miles.
Fair.
Go for it.
My advice tonight, if you're going to use a new knife, concentrate.
Karate Kid, channel that energy.
Yeah.
Channel that energy. That was creepy because it reflected the banners. I don't like that, Mr. Arthur. I don't like that you put a knife on this show. I think it's time to leave.
Peace out.
Did you know Sheboygan is the bratwurst capital of the country?